Cleveland is burning under pressure once again. The Browns' defense looks fierce. Myles Garrett is still terrorizing quarterbacks, and yet something feels broken. The offense is lifeless, the locker room is divided, and one man is caught in the middle of this storm. His name is Shedeur Sanders. But according to Skip Bayless, his NFL dream with the Cleveland Browns might already be doomed because of one man, Kevin Stefanski. As the 2025 season begins, Kevin Stefanski finds himself walking on a tightrope. The Cleveland Browns head coach is facing mounting criticism as his team continues to stumble offensively, despite having one of the most dominant defensive units in the league. Myles Garrett, an all-pro edge rusher, has been doing everything possible to keep Cleveland's hopes alive, but on the offensive side, it's chaos. The quarterback situation has turned into a revolving door. With Deshaun Watson still sidelined and his future uncertain, the Browns front office has been scrambling to find someone, anyone, who can stabilize the position. Joe Flacco, once seen as a stopgap hero, was shipped off to the Cincinnati Bengals, leaving rookie Dillon Gabriel now in charge under center. And while Cleveland fans hope that would fix things, it hasn't. The offense remains stagnant, inconsistent, and painfully hard to watch. But the most frustrating part? There's a talented quarterback just waiting for his shot, Shedeur Sanders. The son of NFL legend Dillon Sanders, Shedeur was expected to bring a new spark, a new identity, a new energy to the Browns. Yet, somehow, he's been completely frozen out of the lineup. Skip Bayless, the outspoken analyst known for stirring controversy, recently dropped a bombshell on his show The Arena, Gridiron. According to Bayless, Shedeur Sanders isn't playing because Kevin Stefanski doesn't want him to succeed. Bayless suggested that the situation has nothing to do with talent and everything to do with politics and personal biases inside the Browns organization. In Skip's own words, Stefanski knows if he gives in to Shedeur, he's a goner. He's already dug in with the owner and the general manager that he wants no part of Shedeur Sanders. Bayless went on to explain that Stefanski simply doesn't like the young quarterback's personality. He doesn't like how Shedeur carries himself, doesn't like his confidence, doesn't like the way he presents himself on social media or in the locker room. This, according to Bayless, has created an internal war, a silent power struggle within the Browns organization. Bayless claimed it's going to take the owner himself stepping in to say, "It's time. We're doing this, whether you like it or not." And when that moment comes, Stefanski's time in Cleveland might officially run out. Throughout Sunday night, multiple reports hinted that Stefanski could already be nearing his end. Whispers across NFL media circles suggested that he's on his last rites with the organization, his final chance to turn things around before ownership pulls the plug. Still, Stefanski faced the cameras on Monday with his trademark composure. He doubled down on his faith in Dillon Gabriel, confirming that the rookie will remain the Browns' starting quarterback going forward. But there was an undertone of exhaustion in his words, a subtle acknowledgement that his job is on the line. "We have to get better in so many areas," Stefanski said. "That includes coaching. That includes how we teach our guys, how we put them in formations, how we run, how we pass, everything. Dillon has good things to build off. He's learning, just like all our young players are. We're going to help him grow and make the improvements that come with experience." It sounded like a coach trying to project stability in a storm that's only getting worse. Cleveland fans, however, are tired of hearing about learning and development. They've watched the team collapse year after year, even with one of the best defenses in the league. What they want is a leader, someone who can command the offense and give the team direction. And right now, that man could be Shedeur Sanders. But if Skip Bayless is right, Stefanski might never give him that opportunity. As Week 7 approaches, the Browns have a massive test ahead. They'll go on the road to face the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday, October 19th, with kickoff set for 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The matchup will air live on CBS, and fans can stream it through Paramount Plus and NFL Plus. This divisional game could be season-defining for the Browns. Sitting at 1 win and 5 losses, Cleveland desperately needs a spark to save their year and perhaps their coach's career. If Stefanski sticks with Gabriel and the offense continues to struggle, the calls for change will only grow louder. If he finally turns to Shedeur Sanders, it could either save the season or confirm Bayless's prophecy that Stefanski's time in Cleveland is over. Either way, one thing is clear. The Cleveland Browns are standing at a crossroads. The defense is elite, the roster is talented, but the quarterback position continues to haunt this franchise. And in the middle of it all is a young quarterback waiting to prove himself, a coach fighting to keep his job, and a fan base losing its patience. So here's the million-dollar question. Will Kevin Stefanski swallow his pride and give Shedeur Sanders the shot he deserves? Or will his stubbornness drag the Browns deeper into chaos? Because one thing's for sure. If Skip Bayless is right, Stefanski might not just be losing games. He might be losing the locker room, the trust, and eventually his job. This is not just about football anymore. It's about legacy, power, and the dangerous politics inside the NFL. The Browns' next move could decide everything. In Cleveland, the story is becoming more tragic by the week. Shedeur Sanders, the young quarterback who once represented hope for the future, now finds himself watching helplessly from the sidelines as the Browns continue to stumble. His eternal wait with this franchise has become a symbol of lost opportunity, while the team seems trapped in a nightmare of their own making. After Joe Flacco's disappointing stretch, the Browns made a bold move, handing the reins to rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel. But instead of sparking new energy, it only deepened the frustration. In a performance that felt painfully symbolic, Gabriel attempted 52 passes in his Week 6 loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, almost matching the 50 days Shedeur Sanders has been waiting since his preseason exit. 50 days of silence, patience, and quiet frustration. Optimism around Gabriel didn't just fade, it evaporated. Veteran quarterback and film analyst Chase Daniel didn't mince words after watching the tape. He said, "The offensive film that I just watched might have been the worst offensive film I've ever seen, and that's putting it lightly." Harsh words, but when the game looks that broken, honesty becomes the only option. Daniel continued, "It's just not great," calling attention to Gabriel's constant misreads and errors even in just his second start. And then came the most telling line. Is Shedeur Sanders the answer? I don't know. But they can't continue down this path. There are other options out there. He's a rookie. I don't want to kill the guy, but this film was pretty bad. But here's the truth. This isn't just about Dillon Gabriel. The problem runs deeper than one struggling rookie quarterback. The Browns' offensive line has been in shambles, unable to protect their passer. The play calling has lacked rhythm and imagination, and the overall offensive identity has completely vanished. Still, even those issues can't excuse a showing this underwhelming. What's truly baffling is the Browns' continued decision to keep Shedeur Sanders inactive, as if they're too afraid to see what he might do differently. With a 1-5 record, sitting among the lowest-scoring teams in the league, and committing 43 penalties already, you'd think something would change. But instead, the coaching staff seems content to stick with the status quo. It's almost as if the organization fears losing control more than they fear losing games. From a franchise that's had only 2 winning seasons since 2007, this kind of reluctance is hard to comprehend. Many around the league still believe Shedeur Sanders' fall in the draft was a mistake. He's got the arm, the poise, the bloodline, and the discipline to be special. Yet every week he spends on the bench, that belief gets harder to hold on to. But credit where it's due, Sanders hasn't cracked. He hasn't lashed out, he hasn't thrown shade, and he hasn't let frustration define him. He's been calm, professional, and quietly focused, even when headlines tried to stir drama. When a viral entertainer versus competitor comment caused chaos online, many assumed it was about him. But Shedeur quickly shut down the noise, explaining that he and the person involved spoke privately. "It is what it is," he said. "I spoke with him. He was like, nah bro, that wasn't for you. Regardless of whatever it was, nobody's words or anything affects me." That's maturity. That's leadership. And that's the kind of presence Cleveland desperately needs right now. Every day Sanders sits, the risk grows that this story turns from one of potential to one of neglect. The longer he waits, the louder the whispers become. Maybe the Browns don't fear failure. Maybe they fear disruption. Maybe they're scared that if Shedeur steps in and succeeds, it will expose every bad decision that led them here. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel continues to falter. His mechanics crumble under pressure, his decision-making slows, and the offense looks lifeless. He's not ready to lead this team, and yet the Browns keep doubling down on the same mistake. And in the middle of it all, Shedeur Sanders, calm, ready, and determined, keeps waiting for a chance that may never come. But make no mistake, when that moment finally arrives, when he finally gets to step on the field and show what he's capable of, it could change everything. The Browns may not realize it yet, but the future they've been searching for might already be sitting on their bench, quietly waiting for his turn to rewrite the story. Shedeur Sanders' story with the Cleveland Browns is no longer just about football. It's about patience, pride, and proving yourself in a world that keeps overlooking you. So the question is simple. Will the Browns wake up before it's too late?